This month, we are dropping anchor number 2. We are going to learn to lay hold of God's mercy. In the same way that God is immutable and cannot change, God cannot separate himself from mercy because mercy is part of his nature. He is a merciful God. And we witnessed this throughout the history of the Bible. Every time he relents from following through with a consequence to mankind's missteps. We will call this God's mercy anchor. And over the next 3 months, we are going to ask God to teach us about this mercy. As we do this, we believe God will show us how to shake off the contamination that might be caused by our failure to receive God's mercy in our own lives, as well as grow in our ability to extend it in the life of others. We are going to look at where we have allowed poor decisions or the shame caused by them to keep us in the dust, unable to accept God's mercy for ourselves. Or sometimes do we accept God's mercy for ourselves, but we refuse to believe it is for everybody? We're going to really look at where and when we have allowed our own perceived need for justice to keep other people in the dust.
Ouch.
Yeah,
ouch
I know
moment.
it's an ouch.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are in the story then, and the Pharisees are one at a time just dropping their stones and walking away. And then we come to the place where Jesus stood up straight and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Did no one condemn you?" And she replied, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "I do not condemn you either. Go, and from now on, do not sin anymore." Mercy poured over this woman straight from the Son of God. Can you imagine her overwhelm in that moment? Like, close your eyes for a minute and just imagine you are her. See those accusers all standing around you with their stones in their hands, and you're standing there waiting for that first stone to strike you. And then, I mean, this woman, this is a death sentence. This was like, she was expecting death to soon follow. And then, as we talked more about it, we thought more about it, it's like then I began to consider my own response or my attitude towards someone based on what I know about them. And do I see them through the sin that I'm aware of in their life? Or can I, like Jesus, allow mercy to change my point of view? Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. That's another ouch. This is kind of a, talk about rocks hitting you. It's like, ouch, ouch.
Right. So now we ask, where can we take this story of the woman caught and apply it to our own life? Who are you in the story? Are you the woman that has been completely exposed, the one caught, the sinner, the adulterous one? I'd like to propose that we have all been where she was. We've been caught in sin. We've all had moments where we've been exposed, where we've even committed adultery against God. When my sin is exposed, will God's mercy be exposed? He will offer it. Will I look for it? Will I receive it? Will I believe I'm even worthy of it?
Yeah, those are good questions to ponder. Or are you the one standing with those demanding her execution? It's the law, after all, and justice must be served. Whom are you dragging before Jesus to expose their wrongdoing? Goodness, I'll tell you, that thought, when the Lord dropped that into my heart, it hit me like a stone. I've been the Pharisee who took a stand based upon the word, and I caught people in the act of adulterating it. And what did I do? I brought them before Jesus. What was the cost? Connection. If all I see is the sin of others, I will always be a stone thrower. And who can handle standing next to me, a stone thrower? And the voice of critical Colleen rises up, and because I am a fixer, believes that it's my place to point out to Jesus what needs to happen, how it should happen. Should I be the one to go and tell them? There is no mercy. There's just correction. So who in your life have you been bringing to Jesus when you've caught them in an act of adulterating God's word? Adultery is an action that is a sin in God's eyes. And when we put anything above God, we know it's a sin. It's a sin of adultery. God talks about that in the Old Testament. You've adulterated my word, and you are committing adultery against me. And adultery is idolatry and apostasy of the worship of the one true God.
Mm-hmm. The woman received a blessing that day when Jesus acted on her behalf, and out of compassion for her, he extended her mercy. She received compassionate treatment in her distress. It's important to note that before addressing her sin, he took care of her immediate needs.
Yeah, that's good. She was guilty. There was no question about it. She was a lawbreaker. But Jesus offered the same mercy that his Father offered the Israelites throughout their entire history, even though justice demanded death. To this woman, he made no accusation, nor did he defend her actions. He saved her by pointing out that if the demand of justice was to be met, then all would need to live by that standard. He did not tell her that her action did not matter, nor did he dismiss the sin altogether.
Right.
Remember, he said, "Go and sin no more." I'm not condemning you, but I am correcting you based upon the truth of God's word. But the correction was from his love for her and the mercy of God.